Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Kahnawà podcast. This is your host, Emmett Hamlin. Today is February 28th, and we have a information-packed episode today. We're joined by Katsistohkwí Jacco, Workforce Development Program Manager here at Zakta. We are here to talk about the KSSEP Kahnawà Summer Student Employment Program. Welcome to the show, Katsistohkwí.
Kahnawà for having me.
I guess my first question for you is, what do the employers and students need to do to apply to the program?
Employers should be looking to start getting their application ready for the KSSEP. And so what employers are going to need in order to apply to the program is they're going to have to fill out an online application form, which can be found at dewa.ca/KSSEP. So in that form, they're going to indicate a variety of different things, such as the name of their business or organization, the proposed supervisor for the student, the start and end dates that they're looking for this summer if they know it at this time, as well as submitting a sample job description or work plan. That's an important aspect of the application because we, as a selection committee, which we meet in April to review all of the employer applications, we look to see if this is a quality job experience for students. So that helps us with our evaluation.
Can you explain the eligibility criteria for students, but also the employers, please?
So the eligibility criteria for employers is the main thing is that they must be willing to mentor and onboard students who they're going to be hiring this summer. So they have to have someone that's ready and willing to supervise a student, as well as take on all of the administration that comes along with hiring a student, such as the payroll and any human resource related matters. So really, when students are participating in the KSSEP and they receive a job at another organization or small business, they become their employee, and we're just acting as the funding support, essentially.
Since you are the program manager, is there any sort of tips that you can offer students to sort of help their chances for being hired in any position?
Yeah, tips we can offer to students to be hired through the KSSEP are to really create a strong resume and letter of intent when they're going to apply for their positions. So the full list of all of the KSSEP jobs, as probably most people listening to this know, comes out in mid to end April. And so students can find samples of both a letter of intent and a resume on our website. I mentioned earlier our website that you could find all of the KSSEP information on is dewa.ca/KSSEP. But also another tip that I want to give to students is that we're also going to be holding a KSSEP job fair once again. Similarly to last year, for those who attended, all of the KSSEP approved employers are going to be there promoting their jobs. And so I encourage students to come out, network with different employers. I think that definitely helps your chances if an employer can see your face and they're talking to you, and if you're mutually interested in that summer employment, you're already establishing those connections, right? Like right then and there in person. So that's another tip that I have, to come out to that and network with employers. And we'll also once again have our workforce development team on site who can help students create or improve their resumes or letters of intent at the event.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that information. That's going to help anyone who is looking to get hired for these positions. It'll give them a little bit of a leg up if they're listening. So take these tips and use them. Use them. It's very important. So we were talking about eligibility for employers. Is there a certain criteria for when you're selecting like the employer applicants?
We highly encourage any organization or business, whether that's within the community or outside of the community, to apply for summer student positions. Usually every year we receive more applications than we're able to approve. And that really just comes down to our funding. And so in order to select employer applications to the KSSEP, we look at the following criteria. We determine if it is a good quality experience for the student. Number 2 is if it contributes to the economic development of the community. Number 3 is if the position serves the social needs of the community. Number 4 is if it's an innovative career opportunity. Number 5 is if it provides access to Kanien'keha language and culture. And number 6, we look to see if this position was recommended by a student who held this position previously.
Yeah, we need to take that criteria pretty serious when it comes to employer applicants. We want the students to have the best experience possible, the most positive outcome. Do you have like maybe like on average like how many employers are selected each year? We always see that list and it's like it almost seems never ending sometimes. So it's great. If you have a number, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so last year, if memory serves, we had 133 applications for jobs. So 133 jobs were applied for students last year, and because of our amount of funding, we were able to approve 74.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. So we still, in my opinion, we were really happy to still be able to provide 74 positions for
Yes.
students in one summer. It's amazing, and we're really happy that we were able to do that. But at the same time, there was a big chunk that we were not able to approve. And so we had in total just over 30 employers last year, with 70 jobs did end up getting filled in 2023. So we're looking to do something similar this year. Again, it'll depend on the amount of total funding that we have that we're able to approve certain positions for. But yeah, again, the target is around between 70 to 75 jobs.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's that's a lot. So employers get your stuff ready, get everything you need set up and get going with this process. Some questions about student wages for 2024. Can you confirm what the wages are for the students this year?
So, as of May 1st, 2024, minimum wage is rising in the province to 15.75. So that's an increase of 50 cents. That's our standard that we always set for all of our high school students to have them earn minimum wage.
Mhm.
So the different levels that we determined are from level A to E. So level A is part-time high school students, and level B are full-time high school students. And those positions will be paid 15.75 per hour. So what we mean by part-time high school is if the employer is requesting for that student to work any hours between 25 or less. So that's considered a part-time position in the summer, and then the full-times are set at 30 hours per week. That's the maximum that Dawodanizakta contributes for all positions. So then we move on to level C, and those are for CJEP students. So the wage rate this year is going to be 16.50 per hour. Again, that's set at 30 hours per week, and that's for usually 10 weeks for the summer. And I forgot to mention the number of weeks that we approve for level A and B. So for a part-time high school student or a full-time one is 8 weeks for the summer.
Can you let us know about the university students as well, please?
Yep. So for university level students, we have levels D and E. So for level D, that's considered undergraduate level students, which is students who are studying for their bachelor's degree. So that is set at 17.25 per hour for 30 hours per week for 12 weeks. And then a new level that was, I guess you could say, re-implemented because it did used to exist in previous years is level E. So that's university level at the graduate level. So that's students who are either studying for a master's or PhD. And that rate is set at 20 per hour for 30 hours per week for 12 weeks.
Can employers top up wages for the summer students?
Written within our guidelines that it is possible for employers to top up the wages based on the rates that we're giving. And just a reminder that the KSSEP does pay 80% of all of the wages and the mandatory employment related costs that I had just mentioned. So we pay 80% of that. Employers have the ability to top up their students. So, for example, if there's scenarios, right, where we have university level students who have some more experience under their belt, they're close to graduating, they may have worked within your organization in the past and you want to, maybe compensate them a little bit more. So it's possible for employers to be able to do that. Just a note is that employers do have to cover those top ups because as we mentioned, the maximum amounts are what I had mentioned earlier for all of the wages.
Moving on to our next topic here, the selective recruitment initiation. For anyone out there who doesn't know about this
Mhm.
part of it, can you explain a little bit more about this?
Sure. So, some of our employers and students who participated in the KSSEP in the past may remember that we had the Bring Your Own Employer or Bring Your Own Student initiative. So this year it's just been renamed to Selective Recruitment Initiative because it applies for employers who want to selectively recruit students or students who are approaching an employer that they want to work with and asking them to take them on. So we've just called it the Selective Recruitment Initiative. And so this is encouraged because we recognize that in today's workforce and labor market that there is, a high demand for skilled employees, and whether that's in private businesses or within our organizations. And so if employers know about a student who may be studying in a field that's in demand in their organization and they want to, work with that student and mentor them over the summer, possibly establish these good working relationships for the future and for that student's future career, then we do encourage employers to selectively recruit these students. It is meant for more of CGIP and university level students just because what they're studying is more focused at that point and they are a little bit older. However, it is possible to do it for more senior high school students as well. It just depends on the situation. But how employers and students can opt in for this option is when they're filling out their respective applications. So when employers filling out their application, they must indicate in their application that they are applying to this selective recruitment initiative, and then they have to indicate the name of the student. And then when the student goes and applies for the KSSEP, they also have to fill that out in their application, the name of the employer and the name of their proposed supervisor, so that we have that matching information when we go to evaluate the KSSEP positions that we received for the year and go through the employer selection committee. So we do need both of those applications from the student and the employer by April 8th in order to determine whether or not it's approved.
Okay. Um, all right. So I think that sort of that answers a lot of the questions that students and employers may have. Um, so in closing, where can I know we said it earlier, but where can employers and students find information about this year's KSSEP program?
So there's various ways that students and employers can access information about the KSSEP. For sure on Dawadanizakta's social media platforms. So our Facebook page, Instagram. We also have a Dawa Youth account on Instagram as well as TikTok, where we'll be posting more information mainly targeted for students on those accounts. But yeah, you can look out for that. So follow us on those different platforms if you haven't already. You can also find more information, all information, I would say, about the KSSEP on our website. So that is dewa.ca/KSSEP. So on there, you can find our full program guidelines for both employers and students. Employers can find the application form that I mentioned earlier, and students can find the application form that I mentioned earlier. So those are important to submit in order to be considered for the program for both employers and students. And then you can also find information up and around the community. We always put our different informational posters in various high trafficked areas in the community, such as the post office or different youth hubs such as the KYC or different places like that. Lastly, you can learn more information about our programs in the local newspapers. So, in the Eastern Door and Yurdiwaze.
Awesome. So just one more thing. Can employers and students contact you specifically about the program if they call Dewa?
If employers or students have any questions during the application period, feel free to contact me. Reminder, my name is Katsistohkwí Jacco, so you can contact me about the KSSEP with any questions that you may have. Our number here at Dawadini Zakta is 450 638 4280. and my extension number is 238. And you can also contact me via email. So that's my full name, katsistohkwí.jacco@kedc.biz. And one last thing that I want to add are the deadlines, just as a reminder. So employer deadline to apply for the KSSEP is April 8th, 2024. And for students, their deadline to apply for the program is May 17th, 2024.
All right, nice. So students, employers, keep your eyes and ears open for these deadlines and submit your information. Thank you, Katsistohkwí, for coming on the show and answering these questions. You know, I think this was a very, very informative episode. Thank you for being on.
No problem, Nyawa, for having me.
All right, thank you. So this concludes episode 3 of the Kahnawà Rio podcast. This was your host, Emmett Hamlin, and thank you for tuning in.